surgical type of throws, being a little more surgical on offense, being surgical in the pocket, which is my favorite word of the day today. I know my favorite word is surgical. He's the head surgeon at General Hospital, okay? Oh, yeah, what's up? That's right. Dr. Simms is here to get you straight on the Pick Six podcast. And my, what's the assistant to the surgeon?
Nurse. I could be a nurse,
okay,
whatever.
My male nurse, Ahmed is here. And we're going to dissect football all over the place. That was so good and so cut up that it sounded like I literally said that all in one sentence.
You may have.
I don't think I did. I just would like to everybody know those were different comments. I did not say surgeon and surgical that many times in one sentence, but I am capable. Maybe I'll try it today.
So Pete, does the analytics for us with football,
Yeah.
also with the pod.
Right.
Counted them up. 10 surgical uses in the pod.
It was a surgical day. I said that during the pod at one point because I just felt like as I was looking at my notes and with some of the quarterback play, like between Burrow and some other guys where I went, the numbers weren't huge, but it was a lot of 8 and 10 and 5 and 8. And that's to me when surgery is being performed.
And then once you got going, you're like, I can't stop.
No, then I was like, oh my gosh, I've said it so much it actually got in my head, but then I just said, it, I'm just going to keep saying it and go with it. So what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's good. Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Ahmed Farid is here. He has his health aid kombucha. I mean, really, that's real. Kombucha?
I go kombucha.
Yeah, I think that's what the way it's saying.
Yeah. Depending on where you're from.
I don't think there is. I don't think that matters. But
if
as
you're from
always,
the Simms household.
we are presented by Lowe's, and Lowe's knows home improvement. That is like, my wife eats kombucha, right?
Okay.
The eating,
oh, what?
Yeah.
How? It's more of a drink.
Hey, wait, isn't there oh no, you know what I'm thinking of? There's like another Japanese food that she eats. Kimchi.
Yeah,
right.
Same idea, though.
So it's the same idea. Exactly
Good
right.
for the gut
she eats it great
microbiome.
for the gut microbiome. That's where I was going to get
That's a
confused.
big
Way to
thing
go,
now.
Pete. Way to go, Ahmed.
Fermented foods.
Fermented
Sauerkraut's
foods.
the same thing.
No doubt about it.
I hate sauerkraut. I hate kimchi.
Does that smell?
Yeah, it smells pretty bad.
I know. All of them smell.
Vinegar.
And that's where I can't do it. So that's more of a vinegar one. Okay.
Want to smell it? Here, try it.
Nope. I used to...
Right?
Yeah, that's vinegar. That gives me bad memories. That's bad memories.
Why?
Because I used to do vinegar to clean myself for the NFL drug test, right?
Oh.
Right? So I was like, okay, I'm stopped smoking today. I'm going to get tested in a month or whatever. The thing was like, hey, when you first get done, drink some white vinegar because that'll help kind of start the cleaning out process and knock some of it out. So I drink like 2 or 3 shots of white vinegar maybe the first night or two, and it gives me nightmares when I smell it now because it's one of those where it's like, when you drank alcohol and maybe threw up and you don't ever want to smell it again.
Correct.
Same kind of thing with this. I didn't throw up, but I wanted to many times. It's gross, and that's exactly what that smells like.
Same idea, though, probably for the gut microbiome. Get all that stuff out
exactly
of there.
Right. Cleans your blood, does all that type of stuff. So yes,
you will never have
kids out
kombucha.
there, don't always follow me and my things that I did. Listen to me, don't do as I do, as I tell my kids all the time. Do as I say, not as I do.
So who else noticed your use of the word surgical?
Oh, yeah.
The homies, of course, on YouTube who comment
good.
in, and so we like to highlight some of the best ones. TTWX4TG, the best surgeon at General Hospital, priceless there. And look at this number 2, Christopher.
Wow.
Chris Simms doesn't get enough recognition as the best NFL analyst in the business.
I appreciate that.
145 thumbs up.
Wow.
And then 34 replies, which indicates that there's some controversy, that there's a little back and forth, maybe an argument.
I'm sure there is. We probably should open up that tab and get into that a little bit there.
Yeah, so that was cool. Good to see.
Conquistador, I got called by John.
Conquistador?
Right. I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I appreciate that. Where did that come from? I didn't say that in the pod.
Oh, I think you did at some point.
I did say that?
I don't know when. But I think you did.
All right.
We'll try to find that.
Who knows what's coming out of my mouth?
Mateo likes our pairing. Well, Mateo, we appreciate you. And
Thank you,
then Jake Side 89. Props to Chris for having all of this analysis so soon after the games have finished. Clap it up. Also nice to wake up to see my Raiders have fired Luke Getsy.
Hey.
So he was not a Luke Getsy fan.
Yeah, got lots of positive things there for our guy Jake.
A fan of us, not of Luke there. All right, we got a lot to get into.
We do.
We got our pick 6, so we got 6 topics we're going to talk about. You've gone deep diving into some film, as always. I got the Buzz Watch here.
Right.
So let's start with trade deadline just passed here. And so we're going to look at some of these trades.
Yeah.
You're going to grade them 1 to 10, whether you think it was 1, not impactful at all.
Yep.
Bad for the team that did it. Or 10, it's like, hey, this really propels them and makes them a significantly better team.
Right.
So we'll get to that. But first, I want to just get your thoughts on one of the bigger trades for the top contender team trying to go back to back to back.
Right.
DeAndre Hopkins, you talked about it with Connor on Wednesday. I was glued to the pod. I listened to every word of it.
Apparently.
I missed that, actually.
Right. Yeah, it's okay.
I was like, we should talk about that. You're like, we did.
Yeah.
But you've seen him now. I mean, we've seen him very successful on the field now.
Yeah.
So your thoughts after the Monday night game?
Well, I
think
I was encouraged with week 1, and on the Wednesday podcast when you weren't here, I kind of went, man, the fact that on the first third down of the game, Mahomes threw to DeAndre Hopkins. There was another important play where he threw to him on a third down at one point, and you could see that from that early in the game, you went, oh man, he's going to be in the trust tree with him. Let alone there was probably a few other plays in that game against the Raiders where I'm sure Mahomes went back and watched film and went, I could have hit DeAndre Hopkins here. I can trust him. He'll sit in the right zone. He knows how to move this guy or lean him one way on this particular route or whatever. So that was encouraging. And then I think you're seeing it's going to go upward trajectory because, yes, that was impressive on Monday night. 1, indoctrinating him into the offense, but 2, having a guy that I think Mahomes hasn't been able to like, oh, it's one-on-one or I'm in trouble and I need to just throw it up to a guy that maybe I can trust in these situations. He's got that in Hopkins, let alone he's got the guy on the outside one-on-one back shoulders. We talked about fades or like he threw that slant for the touchdown, which we had talked about on the Wednesday podcast to go, hey, these are the things he's going to be good at. He's such a big body receiver. He's got such long arms and he's got Spider-Man hands that you're going to go, wait, even though people are all over him, if I just he knows how to use his body and put it in the right spot, he'll shield them off and make the catch. So I love that trade. I mean, if you made me go 1 to 10 on a scale on that trade there, I'd give it a 9. I would, because 1, I think it was definitely necessary for them to get back to the Super Bowl to have that element in their offense as far as a go-to receiver. He improves that. And the other thing, too, I want to say the Josh Uche trade, I love that. We hit that on Wednesday, too. And I love a team being elite on defense and making themselves eliter, if that's a word, which is not. I know.
Rising up the eliter board.
But like we've talked about with your Detroit Lions too, they don't want to have to blitz Lamar if they play them in the AFC Championship game, right? Every play. They'd like to go, wait, our front 4 can get there every now and then, and that'll work, and that's where Uche will help. So I think they made 2 great moves. Hopkins, though, I think is going to be really important for them, and I think his spot in the offense will just continue to grow and grow.
And in my mind, I was like, well, Hopkins is certainly past his prime. Like, how old is he right now? He is 32 years old, and you're like, once you get past 30 on any skill player, you're like, well, there's a decline. I mean, it was just last year with Tennessee he had a good struggling
year.
Offense. He had over 1,000 yards receiving. I had forgotten that.
He impressed me. He did last year because I'm not going to lie. Before last year, I was kind of like, The year before, he definitely lost a step. He's still good, but is it 1,000 yards good? Is it a guy you can go, hey, he's a main staple of our offense? He proved that wrong. He proved me wrong in that aspect last year, and he's looking damn good this year. Yes, it's awesome for them. And if they can get Rashee Rice back somehow, some way, maybe for the playoffs, all of a sudden you could look at that combo and go, wow, they could be dangerous at that position. But they needed it too. My other point, and I meant to say this, Xavier Worthy, as you see, he's not the guy you can count on yet. He's just not. I don't know if he'll ever develop into that guy. We'll see. But like I've kind of talked about, he's right now just a speed guy, and that's all he is. And there's not much nuance to his game. And that's all you can depend on is straight or, if he gets a reverse and gets around the edge, watch out. But other than that, there's not a lot of contribution there. And I think they realize that, and that's why they had to make the trade for Hopkins.
All right, so that is a significant upgrade for the back-to-back defending champion in the Chiefs. Some of the other ones, and we've got the compensation for this. Pete has done a good job of putting that in here. A lot of these, the compensation is not that big of a deal, right? We're talking later-round picks here, which is, I mean, it's cool for the team that acquires these guys because the cost wasn't that big. This first one a little bit different.
No, that's a little different.
The Commanders got Marshawn Lattimore, corner from the Saints. Washington gets Lattimore, a 5th-round pick. New Orleans, though, got a 3rd, a 4th, and a 6th-round pick for this one. But as far as the upgrade for the Commanders, 1 to 10.
I mean, I'm going to put this about an 8.
Okay,
I am. Dan Quinn wants to play man-to-man. he's not being able to do that a whole lot because he can't trust this group to do that. And I think he knows that, as again, like we were just talking about, when he plays better teams, he's got to play the Philadelphia Eagles and all that. He can't go, wait, we want to drop into zone every play and do all that and have guys running out and whatever else. And now they run the ball, and our safeties that were down there making it look like blitz or disguise or whatever. And now they get their backs turned to get out, and they're running the ball down our throats. And oh wait, we turn around. Oh my gosh, Saquon Barkley's here. There's many elements to why they needed this, but yeah, they don't have any guy on the edge that they can really trust in a man-to-man coverage situation on a big down, and that's what Dan Quinn wants to play more times than not. He does a great job of like man and blitz and it became Tampa 2 or something like that. He's really good at disguising all that, but this year as compared to years in Dallas, there's a lot more disguise going into Tampa 2, where I know in his heart of hearts he wants to play that man-to-man and some of that cover 3 match zone stuff. I think this is really good. I do think Marshawn Lattimore, the only thing that worries me is just, been injured a little bit over the last few years. But other than that, when he's not, he is still damn good. Right? Not top 3 or top 5 corner in football, but still damn good, and a guy you go, wait, we'll 3rd and 5, we'll put him one-on-one with A.J. Brown right here. We feel okay with that, and I think that's where the great value is for this Washington defense.
And the Saints clearly in sell mode. I mean, looking for a new coach now.
Yeah, it's all over for the Saints, as we know. There's nothing there. So I expect them to really, this is going to be the beginning of their coaching search. I would thought maybe they would sell even more. They thought there would be maybe more guys for sale there. But you come to a point, too, it's just like, how many guys do we want to sell? And there's a few guys here that we think have a few years left to help us into the future. And I think that's where, like, the Alvin Kamara thing came into play is, hey, we like him. He likes us. He's still playing pretty good. $12 million a year for arguably the best guy on our offense. We don't want to do the same thing the Giants did with Saquon Barkley. Let's keep him. And at least, whoever takes over has something to work with on the offensive side of the ball.
7th round picks exchanged in this next one. Another corner, Rams acquiring Tre'Davious White from the Ravens.
Right.
White has not played since week 4, I believe, here. So how impactful? 1 to 10 scale.
Well, this is one where I'd give it like a 6, maybe 5.5. I feel like is what I would want to say.
That's even higher than I thought.
Well, yeah. I mean, the reason I think I'm probably being a little favorable is just they needed somebody.
Okay,
they needed a body. Between injuries, young players that I don't think they trust all the way, and everything of that, there was definitely a need there. So I give them credit for going out and addressing that. But like Tre'Davious White, do I feel like he dramatically changes them? Like, oh man, now they got him, and they got like this is not Marshawn Lattimore where I go, oh, he'll be able to be on an island again. I wouldn't trust Tre'Davious White on any island with anybody. No way. So he's a zone corner. They play zone. That's good. He's got experience. I will give him that. He's tough. He knows football. He's got good ball skills. But I don't know if it really changes my thought in, now they're a better defense because they can dabble in man-to-man. Right. You can't play man-to-man with Tre'Davious White. That's why Bell's got rid of him. And he was having problems with the Rams early this year when he was playing.
Didn't give up a lot. Team kind of in the middle here, the Rams, right? And so it's just like not
they
going
knew,
all. They're not hashtag all in, maybe like they have.
No,
been in
and I think
when
they got Darius Williams back from the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think that's when they went, wait, we don't really need Tre'Davious White. He's a better player, and Tre'Davious White, as I'm saying or trying to tell everybody here, we're kind of on the downside of his career right now. After the knee injuries and all the issues he's had there, he's not the same guy he was 4 years ago up in Buffalo.
Not the same guy as he was back in the day. Wide receiver Mike Williams as well was not featured for the Jets. Is now a Steeler. They've been looking for a wide receiver upgrade, and Brandon Ayuk, and they've talked about it. They've been in discussions.
Yeah.
They get Mike Williams.
Right.
Jets got a conditional 5th-round pick from a 1 to 10 scale impact for the Steelers.
I'm going to give this a 7.5.
Okay.
I am. One, I think it fits them and it fits Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is a very good one-on-one quarterback, right? I think that's one thing we've jumped out
George
with.
Pickens.
Yes, exactly right. Hey, he's one-on-one. I can throw it up to him. I can throw back shoulders to him. He's got a good feel for those type of situations when he's reading the field downfield and he sees the guys one-on-one. And of course, Russell's a pretty good thrower of the football that way. So I do like that. Let alone, hey, this is one where they needed some other guy that is at least a dependable force to a degree. I don't think we could have called that in Van Jefferson or any of the other guys. They have their moments, but I think now we got a Pickens, we got Mike Williams outside, they're outside, and now we can put jitterbug Calvin Austin in the slot or Van Jefferson according to the matchup or the play we want to run or whatever else. I think it gives them more flexibility, and it gives them more, hey, if they are running the ball and teams want to worry about stopping that and all that, again, you got two guys on the outside that can win one-on-one matchups or at least get 50-50 balls. Mike Williams' size is one of his greatest attributes he has right now.
On the other side of it, we have a tweet to you from Joe Douglas's burner account, so that's kind of cool. Trading Mike Williams while Lazard is on IR seems like it will be impactful in ending any hopes of a late Jets run with a thin wide receiver room.
No, I don't think it necessarily has anything to do with that. I think they're just going to ride with the guys they want to ride with. And I think
Malachi Corley.
Well, Malachi Corley, who I think they're going, hey, we're going to start to infuse him. And then Xavier Gibson is a guy that I think a lot of people in the organization are going, get him on the football field. Now, we got Garrett Wilson. We got Devontae Adams. He's the perfect slot guy, almost like we were just talking about with Pittsburgh. He's your jitterbug, speed sweeps, reverses, little option routes, do all that. I think that's where they looked at it ultimately to go, wait, Mike Williams, we're paying a good chunk of money. He's nowhere near one of the 2 or 3 priorities of our offensive game plan on a weekly basis, right? It goes Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, and then Breece Hall, and then maybe whoever after that. So, I don't think that this means that for the Jets. I don't. This is not a give up. I think this is one they looked at to go, maybe in the perfect world, we'd like to keep him for depth and a little versatility, but we have the flexibility to get rid of him. We're not using him that much, and we are at a time where, we'll see where we are. We're kind of teetering on, will we make it or will we not? And we'll see where we go, but I don't think it's like throwing the white towel quite yet.
Steelers also beefing up their defense with a 7th-round pick. They gave over to the Packers for defensive end Preston Smith.
I was surprised by that. I was. I mean, I didn't see – that was one I did not hear anything about. I can understand the Packers doing it. The Packers are going, wait, we got so many damn good guys on our defensive front seven. We can't even play all these guys. And I think they looked at it and went to say, there's some younger guys here that we think are better than Preston, and we got to get them in and get them involved. The Steelers, I think what I'm surprised with, and I guess this is more because of the Nick Herbig is injured and they want more depth here in case like an Alex Highsmith or a TJ Watt get banged up a little bit. Mm-hmm. But another big size guy, physical outside linebacker who fits right in the realm of what they do and how they play. So he'll be good at all that stuff, whether it's just like, hey, they got hurt or we want to spell them, or, hey, it's 3rd down and we got Highsmith and Watt on the outside, and now we got Preston Smith working as an interior pass rusher. I think it improves them not only depth, versatility, all that type of stuff is where it's going to be good for Preston Smith and the Steelers.
Yeah, Smith for the Packers played a season-high 71% of the snaps week 1, played a season-low 37% of the snaps
I think they saw this
week.
coming, and I think there's some talented guys there in Green Bay where they just slowly but surely they're going, okay, we're comfortable, we trust them. They're actually better physical players than he is right now. Let's move on and just let them play and hand over the keys to them. And I think that's kind of where they are.
You didn't give a 1 to 10 on that.
On that Preston Smith one, I'll give it a 7.
Okay, wow.
I think those are good moves by this Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, they don't always have to be superstars.
Yeah,
depth and quality of play, and some of the teams we're going to talk about today, and like their defenses and what makes them good is the depth and versatility. It's not always like, oh, superstar. It's be able to go, oh wait, this team played this personnel. Oh, they got a good matchup here to do that. Oh, this guy's banged up or tired. Oh man, damn, their substitutes are pretty good too. Oh shit, now their starters are fresh. There's value into that type of stuff, and I think that's what was really good by the Steelers in both of their trades.
And now this guy who is playing 40 snaps only has to play 20 snaps.
Exactly right. And now in the 4th quarter, TJ Watt can redline it again instead of like, it's the 4th quarter. I'm going to take these 2 plays and kind of go 85% because I need to save myself for like 3 plays from now when they cross midfield, and now I got to go get Mahomes and go crazy again, right? Yeah. And now they don't have to worry about that. There is value in all of that.
All right, this next one, a bit of a head scratcher to some people out there. The Cowboys, buyers at the deadline acquired wide receiver Jonathan Mingo from the Panthers. Yeah. Dallas gets Mingo. They did get a conditional 7th-round pick. They gave up a 4th-round pick.
I don't even get it. I mean, that's. Like, I understand trading for the guy, and there's a little potential here with this player. We talked about him a few years ago when he came out in the draft, Ole Miss. He's physical. He's like a poor man's A.J. Brown, where it's like he's kind of built like A.J. Brown, but he doesn't have the acceleration and the speed. Can break tackles, can do stuff like that, can play through contact, everything there. But to, like, trade a 4th-round pick for him?
Right.
I mean, that's the same as we're seeing for some of these other guys that are like bona fide all pros and Pro Bowlers in their careers already. Like, so that's where I'm shocked by it. Now, they obviously have a need at receiver. We know that. But yeah, I'm surprised by that. That to me is what we're into. That wasn't last year. Was that last year when they traded for Trey Lance, or was that 2 years ago? That's 2 fourth-round picks in 3 years, or maybe it's 2 for 2. I can't. I'm all going together. I think it was 3 years. It was 2 years ago, right? But that's 2 fourth-round picks that I want to go. They just throw away. Like, oh, who cares? 4th-round picks, and I'm going to go. It does matter because Dallas, you're not very good in free agency. You are good at drafting and developing, and you're taking that away. Trey Lance is their 3rd-string backup. I mean, now he'll be the backup, and yeah, I don't know what they quite have saw in Jonathan Mingo to go, ooh, that warrants a 4th-round pick in compensation, and we need to get him here with his, 112 yards receiving on the season?
Yeah, to your point, he went for a 4th.
Right.
Hopkins and Deontay Johnson each went for a 5th this year. Dallas traded Amari Cooper for a 5th back in 2022.
It's insane.
So Mingo, the highest compensation in return.
Right.
Young guy.
I'll give it a 1.5, okay? I'll be the Russian judge on this one and give him a 1.5 because I don't even understand it, honestly. The anything about it. I do not understand it. Your quarterback just got hurt. Your team sucks. The season's over. You're going to leverage assets for a guy that's unproven and that we don't know, and you're going to pay more for him than anybody else has paid for a receiver out there in the trade market? That's insane. I don't understand that. And warning signs of a team that just drafted the guy and they don't want him already.
Yeah, that would be number
those
one.
are all things that go. And it's similar to the Trey Lance thing.
And took him in the second round. They took him in the second round. They were willing to take a 2-round discount on
that's crazy.
What he can do in year number 2. Grimy Izzy, I believe it is here. A good tweet to you. Jonathan Mingo. I think when the local Dallas radio host asks Jerry to justify that trade, he is going to shut down 105.3 The Fan. Like that radio station will no longer exist when this one gets
might not.
questioned.
He's going to be like, "How dare you? How dare you criticize me? We're all in on Jonathan Mingo." But yeah, I mean, it's weird, and Dallas is in a weird spot, as we know, and I think falling apart in front of us.
All right, the Bears gave up some running back depth to help out the Bengals.
Yeah.
Khalil Herbert goes to the Bengals. From the Bears, Chicago gets a 7th-round pick in return. Oh, you didn't give a number to the last trade.
I said a 1.5.
Oh, you did. Sorry, you did. 1.5. Okay,
yes,
sorry.
Yes,
1.5. That's right. All right, good call.
Thank you.
This one, what do you give this one? For the Bengals,
they're like thin at the position. So I understand this here, and I like Khalil Herbert. I mean, I'll give this a 7, maybe a 7.5. I mean, again, I just think for need and the player, Khalil Herbert's really good. Like, he had a good year last year. They signed DeAndre Swift. He's better. I understand that. And he's obviously locked down that running back position for the Chicago Bears. The Bengals are looking at it and going, wait. If we lose Chase Brown, we got nothing at running back that we can really depend on or trust. We got to have somebody else, and Herbert can do that. So Herbert runs hard between the tackles. He's physical. He's a lot like DeAndre Swift. He's just a little bit lesser of a version, but I think he'll help them out. And as we know, they're a team that I don't think there was any one move that you looked at and went, that's going to help their defense. But offensively, I think they just go, wait, we got to be good on offense. We got to be sharp. Burrow's going to have to carry us, and hopefully T. Higgins, Chase Brown, and Jamar Chase stay healthy, and Trey Burton or Jermaine Burton doesn't shows up for practice and does the right things there, and they can be really dangerous on that side of the ball. But I do like the trade for them overall. I do.
One question I would have for the Bears is it worth it? And I know they like Roschon Johnson. Yeah, you liked him coming out of Texas too, and so they've got 2 guys there still. But I mean, Herbert, just you mentioned another good.
I know it's like he
a
fell
7th
out
round
of,
pick. It's like a 7th round pick worth it.
It's really. It's like he fell out of favor there. I don't really know what happened, and that's kind of what it felt like. I was shocked all year that when DeAndre Swift would come out of the game, it was always Roschon Johnson. I was like, damn, Khalil Herbert was the best running back on the team last year. Like, what happened there? So obviously there was some disconnect or not liking him or whatever. And I'm sure they got a guy or two in the practice squad. They got Travis Homer there where they went, okay. And I don't know if it's worth it. I think they're getting to a spot here going, wait, another 2 or 3 games, we're going to be either in this or out of this, and he's expendable, and we'll get some low-level assets and acquire it from the Bengals that way.
And we have saved the best for last.
Yeah.
My Detroit Lions acquire Zadarius Smith from the Browns. They got their defensive end. Their semi-replacement for Aiden Hutchinson. Really can't totally replace that guy.
No, you
Detroit
cannot.
got Smith and a 7th-round pick next year. Cleveland gets a 5th-round pick and a 6th-round pick next year. 1 to 10 for Zadarius Smith.
I give it an 8. I mean, it's big. It's hey, he is a guy that can rush the passer. Is he like a superstar? Is he really good, like take over the game like he was maybe 3-4 years ago? No, he's not that. But again, I think like he's not going to have to play every down because you guys are one of those teams that are deep and have a lot of players, so it's not going to be like he has to play 65 snaps a game. He's going to be a little bit more of a role of like, okay, I'm in this series, I'm out this series. Oh, they're throwing this series, I'm back in. Okay, ball. It's going to be a little bit more picky and choosy to where I think that's going to improve his play because he'll be fresher that way, let alone new energy of a new team and like, oh, thank God I'm out of Cleveland and I'm on a team that can win the Super Bowl. Yeah, I expect big things from him. But, yeah, they needed him. We're going to break down their defense in a minute, and I just think it adds to the versatility of what your team can be. He is a guy, because he's so big and powerful, yeah, he can win on the edge, but on third down, if you wanted to go, hey, let's put him and a Liam McNeil at D tackle, and, you know, on the edge, we'll mix it up with some different guys over there, you know, whether, you know, that's I'm coming up with names. I was going to say Josh Pascal, but I forgot he got hurt last week.
Yeah,
but yeah, they can mix it up with other guys either way. It gives them versatility that way. I think that's kind of what you're looking at there, and he fits with how you guys play. Big, physical, powerful type of edge guy for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that Lions defense. You did a deep dive on them, but you also did a deep dive on the team that defense will be playing. Sunday Night Football, we got Houston versus my Detroit Lions.
Yep.
So let's go to number 2.
Let's do it.
Number 2 in the pick 6, that Texans offense, C.J. Stroud struggling. You want to take a look at it, your man crush from last year, the best rookie quarterback season that, I mean, we've really ever seen.
Right, forever, right. And we've been saying this, right? This is something you've heard me say a bunch of weeks. Like, the Texans haven't played a real good game the whole year.
Something's wrong.
Something is wrong. And we talked about 2 weeks ago a little bit about, hey, the protection issues, and they're being exposed a little bit, right? I said in the podcast, I think 2 weeks ago, it's kind of the Shanahan light offense in a lot of ways. It's really like, hey, this is Shanahan, but this is the basic stuff, and that's all we do. And I do think people, because of that scheme and the way they play it, and Bobby Slowick's not doing a good enough job of hiding it, like in the week before against the Green Bay Packers, they exposed the pass protection scheme. They made it where it was like, wait, we know if we line up like this, they'll slide the offensive line one way, and then we'll drop people out and bring them the other way, and they won't be able to slide back and get them, right? We kind of talked about that. That was part of it. So we looked at the Jets film, and I was going, oh, let me see what the Jets did to expose it.
Yep.
And what I found is they didn't expose it as much as I thought, rather than this one was more of not good play up front and a little bit of exposing and some other things that have to get fixed on the Houston Texans offense.
So we're going to go deep into your notebook here. Let's let Will 1990B start this off here with the $1 million question here. What up, B? At this point, it feels like despite copious investment, the Texans' O-line is underperforming. However, I feel like Bobby Slowick is a primary culprit.
I agree.
Your thoughts on why the star-studded offense struggles so much?
Yeah, well, the biggest thing, I think, more than anything, is the interior part of the offensive line. I have no problem with the tackle play. That's plenty good. And
Titus Howard there.
Yes, Titus Howard and, of course, Laramie Tunsil. They're damn good. Now, the other 3 guys, whether it's Kenyon Green or his replacement in this last game, which was Kendrick Green, that's really got to pick up.
Yeah, no matter the green,
it's an issue, right? Yeah, it's not good there. You know, center play, Juice Scruggs is just okay. I mean, it's below okay. It's below average. And Shaq Mason, I would say about the same thing as well on that side of the ball. So, yes, I think to our Will 1990B, right, and what you're saying there, that okay, interior part of the offensive line, certainly not lived up to billing. And then, yes, people have caught on to Bobby Slowick and the pass protection scheme and the slide protection scheme that I'm telling you about. Again, I am not a believer in you can't go too much slide protection. It's too easy to expose. The great offenses in football know how to do man-to-man pass protection. There's more variance in how you can pick up blitzes and pass things off in man-to-man protection rather than having one guy's blocking man-to-man and 4 guys are working as a unit, which is good in a lot of ways. But when teams start to do some intricate stuff, you get a little bit handcuffed. And it's like, oh, no, we slid this way. Oh, no, we guessed wrong. And they're coming the other way. It's hard to get 4 people to slide back the other way and in unison and, like, make it happen, if that makes sense at an elementary level, okay? And that's where teams are really exposing them, let alone the play up front. And, yeah, Bobby Slowick, is not doing enough to help C.J. Stroud right now. C.J. Stroud right now is being it's being misused, and it's a shame. I mean, when C.J. Stroud goes 10 for 30, there's an issue. It's the most accurate quarterback in football. Like I said on Sunday night, this is institutional. This is a problem with their offense overall. It's not like this is Anthony Richardson where we see, oh, great throw. Oh, he misses the broadside of the barn. This is the most on-point thrower in the game, him and Joe Burrow. Right. So there's issues there altogether, and let's continue to break them down.
So he was 11 for 30, so a little better than you give him credit for.
Yeah, one completion
still
better.
Very bad.
And you want to say those interior three, they run block well. That's where I'll give them credit. It's funny how teams can be like that. They run block well, but when it comes to pass protection, individually they're not good, and as a unit, again, when they slide and do things and people stunt and do stuff, those interior three are not good at passing anything off or working as a unit as the interior three to make it all happen the right way either.
So you just saw those last 3 games for C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
Those are basically 2 of his worst 3 games. He had one last year, week 14 against the Jets, where he was 10 of 23 for 43.5%. All right, so what was working last year?
Yeah.
Is it just that other defenses have figured it out?
I think so. I think there's a little bit of that. There's no question. I mean, whenever there's a new coordinator and a new coaching scheme, right, it does take – we've seen this before. New coaches, first year, great success. Second year, hey, why isn't it working the same? Well, because everybody's got a full year to study you. They got a little, folder in their desk file that goes, hey, wait, boom. Oh, here's what Bobby Slowick likes to do. And here's his route combinations and, little things we wrote down about nuances we saw with pass protection. So I think there's some of that. And then I think when you couple that together with you're missing your 2 top receivers, it gets confounded and it just starts to snowball out of control. Here's my biggest problem. My biggest problem is this right here. They're not teaching C.J. Stroud anything about pass protection or where he's got to go with the football. That's the big thing.
Question from Mr. RDZ3. Does Bobby Slowick trust C.J. Stroud to run the offense? He doesn't seem to audible at the line of scrimmage.
He does not. So there, again, this is another thing a little bit with the Shanahan scheme and some of that, and like even old Mike Shanahan. They let the center more times than not do the protection, right? Where you'd see Brady or you see Mahomes go, hey, Mike, Lucky, 53, Mike. Or then they go, hey, Ringo call, 54, Mike, whatever. Like, do all that stuff. Yeah, you will not see Bobby Slowick and C.J. Stroud do that. They don't wire him to do that. So he's in they've taught the offensive line. I hope they know what they're doing, right? But that shows up because when they get tricked with certain blitzes, you could tell C.J. Stroud is like, they said they were going to handle all these things. Where's my hot route? I didn't even know who we were supposed to blitz or not. They blitzed 5. We had 5 offensive linemen. I thought we'd be okay. But, oh, no, they called the ID over here, and they went this way. And now this guy came off this edge, and, oh, shit, I thought, if we have 5 blockers and they got 5 rushers, we should be able to pick it up. That's kind of what they told me all week in meetings. They're doing a disservice to him.
So when the quarterback is not involved in the pass protection, you think that puts the quarterback at a disadvantage?
Oh, my gosh. Like, it's great if sometimes when you have the best offense in football and you have maybe like a center.
The Eagles with Kelsey.
Right, or you have exactly a center that could be all over. I was in Tennessee Titans with Kevin Mawai. It was a Hall of Fame center. They let him do that stuff. He was right 99 out of 100 times, right? Right.
Would you know what he's doing? Would you follow along with him?
I would, because I had been taught so much, and so did Kerry Collins. But I always would look at like my buddy Vince Young, where he grew up in that system, and I wanted to be like, I don't think like nobody's really taught him about what's going on here and what happens if that guy doesn't come and this guy doesn't blitz and do all that. And Vince was all over the offense, but that was just an element. I got lucky that guys like Gruden taught me stuff like that, and they made me learn it, right? And I had to call things at the line of scrimmage and do that. And Josh McDaniels was the same way in Denver. So yes, so when you get into that system, and now you've learned. Right? Okay, yeah, there's some things but there's some times when I got in at Tennessee and I said set hut, and I was like, wait, am I protected? They blitzed, and I don't know if I heard Mawai correctly because I was telling a receiver something and yelling out, the snap count or giving a signal, and I'm dropping back kind of like, wait, look out of the corner of my eye. I'm just making sure that we get him. Yeah. And that's a horrible way to live and think, let alone like, wait, he did come, and we didn't really talk about a plan if we don't pick that guy up. Where's my hot route? What do I do?
Right.
Like, we didn't talk about that. And that's an unsettling feeling. And I'm seeing that a lot with C.J. Stroud right now. And I know how he feels. And he's back there just, wait, Hey, anybody open? Oh, wait, I think I'm protected. Let me look around. Anybody open? Oh, shit, nobody's open. And oh, gosh, I was protected, but we're not blocking any good anyways, and I'm getting pressure, and here we go. And, yeah, I think life is hard on him right now.
You might not know this off the top of your head, but knowing you probably do. Like, what percentage of teams in the NFL are the quarterbacks doing the pass protection? Yeah, the pass protection.
I would say, like, 80%.
Yeah.
80% is
they're at least involved.
A teamwork deal with the center.
Okay.
Right? Listen, even Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning or somebody like that every now and then might have been like, hey, Mike 54, and Jeff Saturday had been like, no, we want a Mike 53 here. Okay, yeah, you're right. All right, like whatever. Like there's dialogue there. But yes, I would say, as you saw Mahomes on Monday night, I mean, every play Mahomes is, hey, Mike 54, hey, Ringo Laser, like it's every play. That's what the top-notch quarterbacks do. That's what the top-notch functioning offenses do. Mm-hmm. To me, you're putting a lot on the offensive coordinator and the center if you do it the other way. And, that's to me like a little bit back to Super Bowl Chiefs-Eagles. That's kind of what happens. Like, oh, wait, I'm Jason Kelsey. I know everything, but they're bringing blitzes that nobody's brought against us this year, and they're hiding it, and I can't tell, or they're not even disguising it, and it's kind of like not even sound what they're doing, but they're doing it, and now the quarterback's just trusting me, and it's like,
how do you tell Jalen Hurts, hey, heads up, you may be screwed on this play?
Exactly, and that's some of those issues there. And yes, I would say at least 80% of teams got the quarterback involved in that.
All right, I like that. That was a good deep dive into that. All right, anything else that we're missing here?
I think we had like two plays we wanted to show just a little bit, just to hit on.
We have some screenshots here. So a career high 8 sacks for the Jets here.
I mean, listen, in the third quarter, the Texans were literally reluctant to drop back and throw the ball. I think they were like, wait, we don't know if we can protect, and I don't know if we can figure out which way to slide or do anything. Here's my first thing. This is easy, but again, here's my point. And what I want to show is, see, you have 3 guys lined up on the defensive line up top, right of the center, right? You got the middle linebacker, Sherwood, I believe, and then you got 2 defensive linemen above them. So they're going to get the center, the right guard, and the right tackle. They're all going to go that way, right? Now, what they also have is another backer on the weak side kind of lined up over the guard, right? To kind of keep the presence of the left guard there, right? To help out so he can't kick out. And then they got Quinnen Williams on Laramie Tunsil. But there's a tight split by the receiver on the left. And you could see here that the corner number 4, I'm blanking on his damn name of the New York Jets here, DJ Reed. Thank you, Pete. He is going to come on a corner blitz, okay? And my point here is, one, it exposes their pass protection to a degree, okay? Right? Because as you see, and then go back to the last picture just real quick one more time if I could show it, if you can go back to that last one, is Sherwood, who was up there on the right side of the center, he backed out, okay? So now they got the center, the right guard, and the right tackle going over there to block 2 guys. That's it, right? They're wasting people, okay? And on the backside here, now, they're going to only bring 2 guys, but get home scot-free, right? And let's go to the next one here, where it's just Quinnen Williams, the defensive end, and DJ Reed off the edge. And DJ Reed, now, because of the way they lined up, and I didn't explain this all as cleanly as I would have liked to, but either way, DJ Reed is free off the edge. And I don't think CJ Stroud really knows and has a plan for this, because he's going, wait, they told me all week we'll pick this up. Now, there's no definitive hot route. He's trying to look front side, but as he's dropping back, he starts to realize, oh no, my backside's not blocked. I'm in trouble. I think he should throw to Joe Mixon down here on the bottom, who's breaking off his route on a little option route, and he should go there. But again, this is to me just a part of the broader problem, is when the quarterback doesn't know what makes him hot, where he's being protected, where he's not being protected. His eyes aren't in the right place. Therefore, he can't even go to the right place with the football when he sees the blitz, because he's not expecting it and he was looking somewhere else, right? And that, to me, is kind of the point I was trying to make with that play right there.
So that was the first quarter, right. So now they're already a little unsettled. We go to the second quarter here. This was a 2nd and 6 with about 7 minutes to go. Here, another one. He's pressured and ends up having to just throw this one away.
Yeah, well, this is, again, too, they do play action here. All right. And you got to find it's play action. And I like that they pull guards with their play action. So they make their passes look like they're runs. But you can't just go, hey, we're doing this and we're going to pull the left guard, which is in our picture right now, he's on our right, but it's the left guard. And you can't just pull him against all looks, right? There's got to be calls that are made to go, wait. We want to run the play action. We want him to pull and do all that. But wait, not against this look, because right here, number 7, Hassan Riddick, is lined up right over him. So we can't. We have to find a different way to do this, whether we don't pull at all or we pull and make a call and pull somebody else where it makes more sense to pull that guy and how they lined up or whatever, if that makes sense to you, okay? And I think that's the big problem here. So go ahead. They go with this. They want to pull that left guard in Kendrick Green, but as you see, not only did Hassan Reddick blitz, the defensive tackle kind of went that way and replaced where the left guard was. And my point is they need to make a call according to how that defense lines up to go, no, we're going to pull somebody else here, right? And go back to the last picture, if you don't mind, once again. So you see here the left guard in Kendrick Green, who had a horrible game and didn't block anybody. He's the one that pulls. What I would say here is pull the center, okay? Or pull the front side guard, okay? What I would really say is, hey, if you still want to run the play action and make it look like play action, let's keep our center on the D tackle lined up over him. Let's keep Kendrick Green on Hassan Reddick, who's lined up over him. Let's keep Laramie Tunsil on Will McDonald, who's lined up outside of him at defense end and left tackle, right? And now let's pull the front side guard who has a defensive tackle on the outside edge of his shoulder, but the offensive tackle can just block down and pin him down. And now there's nobody over the guard, and he can pull, right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Am I explaining that the right way? But my point is you just can't call a protection and pull linemen no matter what the look and just go, oh, we're good. There's got to be, again, a changing or a call to go, hey, this doesn't make sense. We can't pull this guy. Hassan Reddick's going to pull with our guy and be in the backfield, right? We got to find a different way to do that, and they don't do some of that stuff too. And again, that just speaks to their protection problems, their interior line problems, and some of their overall personnel problems.
And with the Jets defense, obviously a lot of talent with Quinnen Williams.
And they got speed and guys that can shoot gaps and do all that stuff.
Will McDonald also popped again for you, a guy you've liked for a long time.
Will McDonald is Quinnen Williams, their best defensive player.
Yeah.
Will McDonald this year is definitely their second best defensive player, or front 7 defensive player, and you could argue this year, I would argue he's the second best defensive player on the defense altogether above Sauce Gardner. The effect he's had on games, he is phenomenal in the run, and his pass rush ability, I don't give a shit about his stats. He had so many plays where he disrupted the play, and he got sacks for other people in the game that won't go on the stat sheet that I should, the play up. He is really impressive and continuing to show growth in pass rush moves and what he does there they're very impressive.
Not an easy test for the Houston Texans against that defense. Will not be an easy test this Sunday Night Football. Dun, 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 dun. Against my Detroit Lions. We'll talk about their defense after we take this short break. Welcome back. Every week, DraftKings sets up the free $1,000 Florio and Simms Pick'em pool. Pick every game against the spread for a chance at a $1,000 prize pool every week.
Download the DraftKings app, click on the Pools tab, and enter the Florio and Simms free $1,000 Pick'em pools to make your picks.
Free money. Welcome back to the Simms Unbuttoned podcast, presented by our friends at Lowe's.
Here we go. What up, Lowe's?
Knows home improvement.
Lowe's
what
knows
up, Lowe's?
Ahmed's a jerk, and he tries to trick his co-host.
Why? With what?
2 stats and a lie.
Here we go. Number 3 in the pick 6.
Why? Here we
2
go.
2 stats and a lie. So I do try to trick you, but you're hard to trick.
Yeah.
You know all this stuff. You got a good feel for, even though you're not a stats guy.
You're right.
You're a little bit of a stats guy. You look at the numbers, who's got the top defense, who's got the worst defense.
Yeah,
so you're familiar with them.
Yeah, I definitely. Hey, some of those stats are they're real. for the most part. Or there's some unpacking too sometimes, right? Like, oh, you got lucky. They played crappy teams or whatever. There's some stuff to be gleaned.
You do a great job of learning from the stats, but also having a skeptical eye at what they're trying to tell you.
Right, that's right.
All right, so here we go. Can you identify the lie here? Two stats and a lie. So we will be talking about the Chargers defense a little bit later on because you wanted to take a look at that.
Yep.
So our first one, Chargers defense has the fewest drives ending in a touchdown.
Okay.
Number 2.
That feels true, but okay, keep going.
Number 2, Jahmyr Gibbs has the lowest percentage of runs stuffed for a loss or no gain.
Ooh.
You like Jahmyr Gibbs.
Ooh,
and
I
number
do.
3, the Lions are bottom 5 in pressure rate since the Hutchinson injury. So one of those is false. 2 are true.
Wow. All right, the Chargers is true.
Chargers is true, correct. 11.1% of drives they are giving up a touchdown. That is best in football. Steelers 2.
Okay.
Bears 3. Lions 4th.
Lion 4th. Okay. So let me see. Hutchinson got hurt in the
week 6.
Week 6 against the Cowboys. Okay. I'm gonna say the lie is number 3, that they're a bottom 5 in pressure rate.
You are correct again. In fact, they're actually 8th
they've improved?
in the NFL. No, they have not improved, but 38% of dropbacks. They are 8th. They're behind. Browns are 1st. Jets are 2nd. Commanders 3rd. But here's the rub. Lions are tied for 25th in sacks per game.
Yeah.
So they are not. They're getting some pressures.
Right.
They are not completing the deal.
Okay.
Minus Aiden Hutchinson.
Sometimes pressure is the most important thing. There's some things to be said about that. Like I've told you in the past, I've had games where I got sacked 5 times, and the O-line's feeling all bad, and I'm going, really, those are the only 5 times I got hit the whole game, right? And then I've had other games where we dropped back 40 times, and I got sacked 0 times, but got hit on 38 of them and was like, like all game long, and the O-line thinks they do great, and you're like, guys, you suck today. I mean, it was miracles. We had people open. I got the ball off, like whatever.
Yeah.
So, pressure can be more effective than sometimes the sack. That can be a misleading contextual stat that way.
So we'll get to the Lions defense here in just 1 second, but Jahmyr Gibbs, it is true, fewest percentage of runs stuffed for a loss or no gain. Of course, that's him. That's the offensive line. But just 11% of his runs for 0 or negative yards.
Yeah, it's not surprising. I said 2 weeks ago on Football Night in America that the in-between tackles running, the Packers was the best running game in football. I probably misspoke, I should have definitely said it's either Detroit or Green Bay. It's one of the two. They're both phenomenal that way. I know the Baltimore Ravens are the number 1 run team in the sport right now, but a lot of those are Lamar Jackson scramble yards. This is like a team, your quarterback can't run. That's to me more impressive. This to more says about their ability with just pure physicality and willingness to run and scheme is more dangerous with the pure downhill. Like, we have the willpower to run on you. Yes, the Detroit Lions are special that way. I mean, right now you got 2 running backs that are on pace to be 1,000-yard rushers. That's insane. Right. That just tells you how damn good they are.
Derrick Henry 2nd best in not going backwards.
Yep,
or
not surprised by that.
Kareem Hunt 3rd. How about that?
Well, hey, they got a really good offensive line. Now, I don't think he's like, I still watch him, and that was one thing I watched on Monday night and went, man, I do feel like, they need Isaiah Pacheco back. Kareem Hunt runs hard. I know he had a good night the other night, but there was a few runs where I'm going to go, man, if they had Pacheco or a more top-tier-ish type of running back, those were going to be big runs. And they missed something there, but they're comfortable with him. He's physical. And, yeah, they're a good all-line there in Kansas City. They're not going to be behind the line of scrimmage a whole lot.
And I thought this was interesting.
Yeah.
Other end of the spectrum.
Right.
Second worst, 24% of runs for 0 or no gain was Joe Mixon.
Well, it's kind of funny. They're boom or bust in that. It's like he can't find a hole or he finds some cutback lane and breaks a tackle and gets 20 or 30. It's kind of like, it's feast or famine with them.
But the worst, 26%, Breece Hall of the New York Jets.
Well, yeah, I'm not surprised by that either. I mean, one, we know the O-line, and like let's think about Breece Hall runs. 8 out of 10 of them start going sideways, right? They're always giving them like the wide zone run out of the shotgun where he has to run to the sideline for 15 yards and then find a hole. And that's just like that's just you're asking to get tackled for a loss with those type of plays.
All right, good. You aced the test once again.
Thank you, sir.
Done.
Thank you.
As we move on to number 4 right now, and it is an extension of what we were just talking about, the Detroit Lions. They smother the Packers in the rain.
Yep.
But we want to take a closer look because it's Lions offense has gotten a lot of the love.
I haven't watched the D in a little bit and really deep dived it and studied it a little bit. So this was good to do. I got to do that yesterday with a few defenses that I hadn't watched since early in the year or hadn't watched at all, to where, it was good to get a good feel for them or another good look for them here.
All right, so what is the one thing that stood out right away when you watch the Lions defense?
The big thing is the size of your D-line, right? I think that's where it all starts. When you talk about, size, no team is ever going to overpower you guys up front. That's the first thing. And when you talk about you start three defensive tackles right now. I mean, you got two of the biggest tackles in football, and Liam McNeil and DJ Reader. You can't move them. And then you got Ozarike playing D-end, who's basically a 290-something pound D tackle, right? But he's athletic enough to kind of play that strong side D-end and do all that. So your first thing is that you have the ability to go, no, we'll play coverage. We don't need to overcommit to stop the run and do all this type of stuff. We feel good that way. And then out of those three guys, right, they are guys that, it's not sexy around the edge sacks, but they can push the pocket. Ozarike can push the pocket. He's not going to beat people around the edge, Lawrence Taylor style, and get strip sacks. That's somebody to do. But the biggest thing is a Liam McNeil. For the second time of me kind of deep diving this Lions defense this year, is unbelievable. I mean, he's a force in the middle of the defense. First off, immovable in the run game, but in the pass game, he is quietly one of the better pass rushing D tackles in football, and he had a day the other day against Green Bay on Sunday afternoon.
He really did. He made it very difficult on him. All right, so schematically, some of the things that you've noticed here, and we have numbers to back them up, is that in your notes, you're on third down, they get aggressive.
Yeah.
First and second down, they blitz at 29%. That's 12th in the NFL, so still more than average.
Right.
But third down, it's 46%, 47%.
It's coming
second
on third
in the
down.
NFL.
They're going to do something crazy on third down. And then first and second down, I feel like the blitzes they're kind of elementary, right? It's we lined up in a 5-man front and we brought 5, right? Or it could be they also will do, we blitz one, we drop one. Right, they do that too, and I don't know, Pete, if that classifies on blitz, if that counts as blitz, if they blitz one and they drop one. I'm not sure how that. All right, so that doesn't necessarily, because they're good at that too. But on first and second down, I would say basic blitzes, but nothing wow. And more than anything, I think they do that to really stop the run or have five people at the line of scrimmage, and more times than not, one guy drops out of that 5-man front. But yes, on third down, good luck trying to figure it all out. They do everything as far as blitzes and what they want to do. Now, the biggest thing is you guys want to play zone more times than not behind of it, and you're good at it. You guys are good at passing people off.
So behind the blitz.
Blitz.
Predominantly what's the narrative with them is they're more of a man team than most other teams out there.
Yeah, behind the blitz, they want to play zone. And when they play man, a lot of the times, I don't even know if it's man. I'd be on some offenses and I'd go, I think we would classify this still as zone, even though it kind of looks like man. But either way, they want to do that, and they're very creative on third downs at doing it. The point that we've made and we will continue to make is that when you do that, right, and you play good offenses, you're going to leave yourself susceptible to some plays to be had and maybe put your defensive secondary in some spots where you don't want to put them. And I think that's what we're talking about with the Aiden Hutchinson injury and where we're getting here too, is that they don't want to have to overcompromise or gamble too much with the blitz and get exposed by the good teams when it comes NFC Championship, NFC Divisional Playoff type of time.
So that was part for this game for you. You wanted to parse and see how much of this was a Lions defense being aggressive and playing well, or how much of it was a Packers offense not playing that well in the rain. And so we got some screenshots to illustrate probably both points right here. We'll start midway through the first quarter. This is red zone. This is third down. It's a Lions blitz at the 12-yard line.
Yep.
Here.
This is and this works out for you guys. Okay, so this is where I want to tell people, this is not the play that's going to show them getting burned. It should have been burned. It should have been a touchdown. And to our broader point here is, yes, Jordan Love is just not playing great football. As you saw in my notes, if Jordan Love can't practice the whole week, I would not play him this week. I would not. It's not bad, but it's not good Jordan Love. Okay, so and they got a bye week. So okay, hopefully that'll be an issue. But his play is not up to par. And all right, so you see this, right? And they're going to blitz. They're going to blitz this slot guy over here. I think it's Amik Robertson, who you can see kind of coming down. And let's get to the next pictures. 3 receivers to the right, tight end to the left, back to the left, right? You guys end up bringing 6 guys, right? So it's basically cover 0. they've picked it up well enough where they've picked up everybody and they've let 41 on the edge, which I believe is James Houston.
Yep.
He's the farthest from the quarterback. They said, okay, we'll let him be free. And as you can see, Jordan Love's throwing the ball right now. He doesn't have anybody within 3 yards of him, right? He's fading away, which he does not need to do. Just stand there and throw the freaking ball, which he does too much. And you could see over in the middle, he's got the running back here for an easy walk-in touchdown. I mean, he is going to pull away. I believe that's a defensive end that's on him on this play. I can't remember exactly. But either way, they've picked up this blitz, and this is what we're talking about. Like, if you got to play the 49ers or the Eagles in the NFC Championship game, you don't want to live like this over and over. Mm-hmm. They're going to be good enough to do this, and as you see here, the ball ends up being behind Wilson. And like I said, he had the defender beat by 3 or 4 yards, who was trying to, again, cover him out of the backfield with no help on either side. But that was an opportunity on the first drive where the Packers should have came away with the touchdown. They came away with a field goal. Not saying hey, it's good defense. I get it. Some of the blitz causes that pressure type of stuff.
But in that situation,
I'm just saying you don't want to have to gamble like that.
Yep.
That's my point, right? That's going to come back to burn you at some point. When it might come back the next time you play the Packers and when Jordan Love is playing at a higher level and really, hitting on all screws and all cylinders here, which he's not right now. And yes, that hurt them.
All right, let's go next quarter. Second quarter, about 9 minutes to go here. This was a 1st and 10.
1st and 10.
It's a Lions blitz that was picked up here by the Packers.
It was picked up well here by the Packers. Again, you can see here they're showing a little bit of like, oh, wait, it's 3 receivers to the left, tight end to the right. And this is where, again, I don't know, what is some of these grading companies call man, because like again it looks like some of this is man down here, but I would go like really smart offenses would not call it man if a linebacker's on a receiver or anything like, even though it looks like it's playing man, it's still broken down into like a match zone. But here they go, they're going to bring the blitz. Let's show it. Okay, we got 4 down linemen, 3 receivers to the left, right? Oh, and they brought, let me go back. Let me just make sure I got this right as far as who blitzed here, because I just want to make sure we get this right here, because I believe it was the guy at the 46, Jack Campbell, who is right down here on the hash, right? You see him here? He's over Jaden Reed as far as the inside of the 3 receivers. Okay, sorry, I didn't get that talked about earlier. So they blitz him. All right, so let's go. Let's go to the next picture here. They blitz him. You see Jack Campbell here on the edge, right? The tackle's got him. Blocked. Or I think it was the backer. He's blocked. They got it, okay? They schematically have everybody really in the right spot. Now, Jordan Love, who has not played well up to this point, he's just trying to get a completion and get the ball out of his hand. What I'm telling you, in Jordan Love, when he's hitting on all cylinders and playing awesome, he's going to stand in this pocket, and there's going to be 2 people that are going to be wide open. And I'm just saying, even in this play right here, if he just stands there and pats the ball one more time or pushes up in the pocket, he can hit a deep post down the middle for a touchdown. He can hit a deep in cut down the middle for a big gain. Okay, so let's go to the next picture, all right, and we'll show that. But you could see here, right, he's already thrown the ball. He threw the ball over to because he's hasn't played well, so he's kind of feeling the clock in his head, and he wants to get a completion, and he's missed a few throws. But you could see here in the screen, number 9, Watson, right? You could see him going to the post.
Yep.
I mean, he's gone. Kirby Joseph is outside. There's nobody there. Daubs, 87, is running the in-cut behind him. Huge zone hole right there. What I wanted to say to Jordan Love here, and you could see right here, he's thrown the ball. He still has nobody around him. Step up in the pocket and let the play develop, and you're going to get a 30 to 70-yard gain here. But because he's not playing well and he's missing some plays and missing some throws, he kind of took the, hey, let me just get in some rhythm here and get an easy completion. He never even let the play develop. Tucker Kraft's running a shallow cross. He didn't even get to the center, and he threw him the ball. He didn't even get to cross, right? So that was a missed opportunity by Jordan Love. But again, just another point of going, this is what happens when you have to over blitz, right? That's all I'm saying. You got away with it here, certainly. And I understand it's going to fluster the quarterback at times, but I'm just saying when it's the top tier teams, I don't think this is going to happen. And this is where you can end up coming back to bite you in the butt.
Interesting. All right. So our last one here is not a blitz.
Yep.
It's a 4-man rush.
Right.
And Jordan Love has
all day.
Even more time to throw
all day to
on
throw.
This one.
Right.
This one was 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. It's the 2nd and 20. This was actually the play that Brian Branch was ejected for the hit to the head.
This is one, and again, to accentuate the point that Jordan Love's not playing great, I mean, there's people open here. He's got all day. He doesn't pull the trigger to throw it. But, yeah, it's just a normal 4-man rush here. Right, it's base defense in. I think you got James Houston on the bottom as a defense end. On the top, it might be Onwuzurike, and then you got DJ Reader and Ali McNeil. Straight 4-man rush, like kind of a 4-3-4 type of look on defense. Okay, so set hut, let's go. They snap the ball. It's empty personnel. So let's go to that next picture, Pete, and you'll see here again the 4-man rush. Look at the pocket. I mean, look at the pocket, and he has all day. And if you look on the bottom of the screen here, you got Dontavian Wicks, number 13. He's going to run a 15-yard curl route. He's wide open. I don't know why Jordan Love doesn't throw him the football here, but either way, he doesn't. And then he buys time and ends up moving and throws the ball down the field. But here you go. Look at Dontavian. That's wide open in the NFL.
Right.
This is already, he stopped, turned around, and he's like clapped his hands, and he's like, wait, I'm open. And now he's like, wait, I'm still open. Throw me the ball. And he didn't do that. But Jordan Love, again, off of his game, he has to move, and then, yeah, he throws the ball to Wicks along the sidelines, or maybe it was Dow. No, he hits Daubs, who, again, this is to how good the pass protection is, okay? This is my point. Daubs is on the right hash at the 44-yard line. He's going to hit him on the sideline over here. He's already had the ball for 4 seconds here in the pocket. He's going to hold it for another 3 or 4 seconds and then throw the ball over here to Daubs, right? And then the Brian Branch problem had, what was it not? Oh, it was Bo Melton. Sorry, not Daubs. Sorry, it was number 80. It was Bo Melton. Excuse me. But, yes, That's my point, and being that when you guys rush forward, this is hopefully where Zadarius Smith can come in handy and add a little more pressure, and you're not, let the quarterback hold the ball all day.
As someone who has watched almost every snap at the Lions so far and on defense this year, I can say that it does feel like there are going to be some games for them where they get beat. They give up the 30. Like the Seattle game, right? That wasn't a super shock to a lot of people. Some big guys, some guys that are tough to tackle. It's just like...
there's space in your defense.
Yes.
And if you could pick up some of these creative blitzes and what you do there's plays to be had. It's a big if because you're creative. Aaron Glenn's very good at it, right? You guys got versatility as far as size and some different people on the front D-line, but not enough pass rusher versatility. That's why you made the trade for Zadarius Smith. Even on the pick 6 that they throw on the screenplay, right? Yeah. That was a play there where they got good pressure, but they blitzed. There was huge holes in the pass game. I mean, a huge hole. There really was. But again, like I said, Jordan Love not seeing the field right, not feeling comfortable right now. You guys made him feel like that to a degree, let alone I think he's feeling like that because he hasn't been able to practice a whole lot the whole year because of the injuries and everything he's dealt with, and it's showing on the football field.
So on Sunday Night Football, will Houston have a easier time than they did last week against the Jets, or just as difficult of a time against Detroit?
I think it's just as difficult because what I look at too is, one, I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball against you guys like they did against the Jets. That's an issue. And this is a defense that I think I said, like, the Jets made sure to get guys one-on-one. Like, you know how I talked about with Houston, Green Bay exposed the pass protection plan. Yeah. The Jets decided to go, we don't do a lot on defense, but what we are going to do is make sure we get the left guard one-on-one a whole bunch, and we'll win more than we lose, right? So they found ways to do it like that. Detroit will go back to kind of the Green Bay way, where it's going to be like, we're going to show this, and then we're going to blitz over there. Or we're going to show this, and then drop out, and then come. They're going to mess with them schematically that way. And that's where I think that could be scary for the Houston Texans.
And you can watch it on NBC and Peacock. All right, we got to take another break. When we come back, though, the defense continues. Who said this was a quarterbacks podcast? You're taking a look at two defenses, Chargers and Rams, who've come on strong here lately. What do they do well? What's working for them? That's all coming up next. Welcome back to the Chris Simms Unbuttoned podcast presented by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement.
What up,
6.
Lowe's?
We are working our way to number 6, but now number 5. 2 more defenses we want to look at. You looked at. Deep dive into the notebook. We'll start with the number 1 defense in football.
That's right.
The Chargers?
Yeah.
They have turned it around. So let's just start with the ranks right here just to prove we're not making this up. We would never do that to you, except for the 2 stats and a lie. That's the only time I make up a stat. So last year, points allowed per game, they were 24th with a defensive-minded head coach, too, nonetheless. Yeah. First this year, yards allowed per play, 27th last year, 6th this year. You see first downs, third downs are stopping teams or keeping teams out of the end zone. When they get to the red zone, it's a total transformation. So we wanted to figure out how that has happened. Yeah, and you went into the barn to figure it out.
Hey, I mean, one, they got some ballers, right? Like we talked about Liam McNeil for Detroit Lions, Robin Hood style type of thing, right? There's some guys here that also kind of deserve that type of recognition for sure. They got a lot of good players on defense. But I think the big thing is, right, and again, a little bit like what you heard me say about Detroit, the first thing you talk about when you look at them is you go, wow, they're big up front. They are very big up front because you get into Ogbania, right? I hope I'm Ogbania. I believe so. I don't know. I'm so sorry. Okay, they're 1D tackle, number 93, and Puna Ford. Those are both guys that are 320-plus pounds. Tupelo, right,
we apologize again.
Tuli Tupelo, who is from USC, right, drafted a few years ago. Yep. He at defensive end, right, playing instead of Joey Bosa right now, 290 pounds, right? So there's some size there. And then, of course, Khalil Mack is 270 and strong as hell for a 270-pound man. So they got that. I think here's my biggest thing, all right? And then so it's big up front, 2 athletic linebackers, and 2 crazy athletic safeties. And then kind of big corners, right? Christian Fulton's hurt from them right now. They're playing 2 rookie corners as it stands right now. But they're big and they're physical type of guys. But I think it is interesting big up front and then really fast and chaotic in the middle is an interesting mix, right, altogether that I really like. And here's the big thing. Like the last time I watched them on film, it was the Chiefs game. I think it was week 4. And, the Chiefs won. It wasn't easy. And I just kind of went, hey, the Chargers didn't do a whole lot in defense, but maybe it was because the Chiefs and they do a lot of different formations and it's Mahomes and maybe you don't want to blitz them too much or whatever, right? So when I turned this film on, I was going, I'm going to see a little bit more stuff this game. I expect to see that. No, I'm wrong. But they are one of these teams that they're kind of vanilla. They kind of are like, we're not going to do a whole lot. We actually think we're really good and talented and we're good at what we do, and we're going to kind of play within the boundaries of that. We're not going to play crazy different schemes and do stuff like that. It's pretty simple when you watch it. But they're taking the approach of we think we're good, we think we're big and physical, and we're going to allow our guys to kind of play fast, and we're all on the same page. And of course, it's working really effectively right now. In fact, it's very impressive what they're doing.
So Derwin James with the injuries, concern certainly that it's like this is the have you seen him play as well as he has the last couple of years?
He's the to me the standout guy on their defense. He's the guy. They have great versatility on their defense, right? When you get into some of the other guys that they got on their defensive line and who they got, whether it's Bud Dupree, number 56, Mike Fox. I'm missing a few other guys, right? 44 and 90 are the guys I've written down as well that are in the mix as far on the D line. But when you look at Derwin James, okay, and you look at him, what he allows them to do is first and second down, he plays nickel. So it's like having he's pretty good at coverage, but he's like having a big-time linebacker down there close to the run game to make things physical. Let it go in with him and our man Deion Henley, our number 1 linebacker in the draft from a few years ago.
Just last year. Man, 2023.
When those 2 guys are in and they want to play, let's say Derwin James in the middle, the dime defense with just Deion Henley, they are very athletic and rangy. I mean, it's hard to throw the ball down the middle of the field. They can match up and play man-to-man if they want, but they can really play zone because of their athleticism and their long arms and their ability to change directions. So it makes it tough. And then they got 2 safeties in Molden and Gilman that really can cover a lot of ground. Guys that I would go have corner-like type speed, but play with safety-like type aggression. That's where they're really, really damn good when you look at this Detroit Lions football team. Chargers football team.
Thank you for bringing the Lions back into it, though.
Yeah,
I like what you said at the end of your notes here, though, too, because you can see like a team that plays vanilla and just trusts their guys to be better than your guys and play fast, that when they do sprinkle in a blitz,
it catches people by total surprise.
Right. And there's some smart blitzes.
You don't expect it, right? And that's where they are really good too. And then I'm big into versatility up front. Right? And the fact of like, hey, this is a passing down. We need some smaller, faster guys. Oh, hey, wait, they're in a running offense and it's a running type of down. We can bring in a lot of big guys in here and be physical and play that way. And like, I want to talk about like Morgan Fox, some of their backups, right?
Yeah.
Really damn good. It's number 44, Scott Matlock. He's a 6'4", 300-pound D-tackle fullback, right? Along the lines of Patrick Ricard from the Baltimore Ravens, a hardball guy who plays fullback and defense end. We talked about Bud Dupree, him being in that little rotation there. And then Tier Tart at defensive tackle, another guy that they throw in there. So they are a team that jumped out to me too with I can't believe how much they substitute. I can't believe how fresh they keep guys all the time. It's very impressive that way. I think if they didn't have the rookie corners, they'd be a little bit more maybe complex on defense, but not a whole lot more. But I think because of them, that maybe makes them be a hair more vanilla than they would even actually like to be if everybody was healthy.
Their blitz rate, 27th in the NFL.
There you go.
This season was just 14% this past week. Didn't do it at all. Man coverage, 30th. In the NFL this season. So
that's what they're doing.
They do what they do. Now, part of it is, they really haven't played the best of the best. You talked about Patrick Mahomes,
right.
and they made life hard for him at times, for sure. But the list of quarterbacks that they have beaten, not the best. Justin Fields has beaten them. Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, but then you got Gardner, you got Bryce Young, Bo Nix, Spencer Rattler, and Jameis Winston.
No, they've been very fortunate with that for sure. But and again, yes, the offenses they've played, but I don't think this is like one where I go, oh, when they play real offenses, you're going to see them get exposed. Yeah. No, there's enough talent here. The scheme's good enough.
Yeah, because look at Kyler, 145 yards passing. Is that what he had in the game?
Exactly right. Yeah. They are really well coached. They're talented. You said about the blitz, right? They don't want to blitz. They don't have to blitz. They have a front four that can get there. They're big into blitz zone change, right? That's what they do. Like I said, they don't play man-to-man. They don't want to do that. And I would say as far as passing people off or knowing what a team does, man, they're impressive, right? When they'd get in 3 receiver sets, some of the interceptions Jameis Winston threw in the end zone, I'm telling you, they tried to confuse the Chargers and make them, and the Chargers were so disciplined. Browns, they passed everything off, and that's how they got some of those interceptions. And when I say blitz zone change and what they do there, they are masters at blitz 1, drop 1, and still rushing 4, but it being creative enough that it still gave your offensive line issues, and it makes the quarterback like, wait, it feels like they're blitzing more than 4 here. They're really good at disguising it and putting stress on the offensive line and the way they do it.
5-3 on the year now, and you noted at the top of your notes, like we talked about on Sunday, and you see with the Jim Harbaugh team, they play complementary football. Like their offense helps their defense play at a high level by keeping
They're going to keep the ball. They're going to wear you down. They're going to have time of possession. It's going to keep their defense fresh. Their defense plays a style of, we're going to bend, and we think eventually you'll break because we're good enough and we think we're coached well enough that if there's a 10-play drive, one of them you're going to mess up and we're going to make the play. They kind of play that style. Like I said, barely ever play man coverage. They want to play 2 deep, some form of 2 deep coverage all the time. It's quarters, it's tempo 2, it's combination zones. That's all they do. And I told you, they are really good at passing people off in these zones. They got up 13-3. This was the coolest thing. They got up 13-3, and I thought, hey there, walkie-talkie guy. They got up 13-3, and most teams go, let's play even more vanilla. Let's just not let up the big play. That's when they decided to blitz. They said, let's throw a curveball at them now. They're going to drop back and pass and think we're going to play conservative. They blitzed. They got off from 3 and out. They went down and scored and made it 20-3, and then they're like, well, now we can go back to our normal stuff again. That was really cool. The safeties are kamikaze. The linebackers are kamikaze. And I love that. I talked about Derwin James being like the ultimate chess piece. And I feel like they are very good. And this is where I got into the versatility of mixing and matching their personnel. Oh, you have a big slot receiver? Oh, then we'll put Derwin James at nickel, right? It just stuff like that. Little things that matter that, like I saw New England Patriots do for years and years. Oh, you're bringing this tight end in the game? Well, we think you're going to pass the ball. We won't play run defense, whatever. They are very good at that aspect, and they really make you work for it, and they believe their defense is going to make a play at some point.
So they're a defense to watch for sure. Best in the NFL right now. A rising defense is the last topic in our pick 6 here. Also out west, also in L.A., same stadium. The Rams. They've gotten better.
Yeah.
They've looked good here. And so I'm going to give a couple of homies the spotlight here to tee you up.
Yep.
Maybe they're seeing some of the same things you are.
Yeah,
cool. Derek Quinn says, damn okay to the Rams D-line for what they did to the Seahawks O-line. The rookies are absolute problems. And then Godly Just says, damn okay Rams scouting department. Seems like they draft a couple mid-late round rookies every year that add major juice to their team at positions of need. Have you seen the same thing after your deep dive into the film?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. No, I think even when they're ranked like statistically on defense, they're better than what they're ranked statistically, right? They played some good offenses early in the year that got after them a little bit. They were a very banged up and injured football team a little bit. The offense was really struggling with all the injuries they had, right? Mm-hmm. So like we always talk about, you're punting the ball every 3 plays, your defense is going to break, let alone they're a young defense. So it's like, hey, wait, we're starting rookies and second-year players and doing all that. They're going to mess up early in a football season, right? Especially with the way the rules are and everything now. Mm-hmm. So, yes, but a lot of this defense is rooted into what we've seen with Raheem Morris. It's another defense where I go, they don't play man very much. It's zone most of the time. They want to play zone defense, right? And with that, they don't let up big pass plays or big runs, really, because they always got guys' eyes are on the ball, right? When you're playing zone, that's the positive thing. Eyes are on the ball. We can all rally to the ball and make a tackle. That's where they're really good. But, man, do they have some disruptive fuck-the-play up guys, right? People want to go, like, what's different or how do they replace Aaron Donald? Okay, well, how do they replace him? You can't replace Aaron Donald, right? He's special, but they drafted the white man version of him and Brandon Fisk, okay? Braden Fisk, excuse me. He is phenomenal, okay? He's really disruptive football player. There's still some plays like we talked about when he came out in the draft in the run game where you go, okay, he gets moved a little.
Yeah, there were some red flags with his film,
but they don't care. They don't care because they want you to be like, hey, you're over here and we want you to slant down here and we just want chaos and all that. But when you talk about Fisk, Kobe Turner, Byron Young, and Jared Verse, I go, those are some young F-the-play-up kamikaze defensive guys that I love, and they have been really, really good.
You don't have to take our word for it.
Right.
Look at the notebook. We go inside the notebook for this exact passage right here. You're talking about these freaky athletic guys. We censored you because, you can't go too far with all this stuff, but you keep it colorful in your notebook as well. But basically, once you start listing all those numbers, you know something good's happening with your defense.
Yes. Good. These are your D-line. When you can name 6 guys and go, wow, they do a lot of different stuff and got some cool personnel matchups and what they can do. Michael Hoyt, right, the number 97, he's an outside linebacker who's 6'4", 310. He's always a guy that impressed me. But, yeah, he could play outside linebacker. He could play D-tackle. So you don't know what you're getting. He's playing stand-up middle linebacker. Is he going to blitz? Is he going to go drop into coverage? Oh, no, he actually played like real D-tackle. So they got a little versatility that way that I think is really important right now in the NFL. The versatility in your front 7 because of all the different formations and what teams are doing in down and distance and according to all of that, you got to have that. And that's where they're really damn good. But I was totally blown away, I think, with Braden Fisk and what he's doing on the field. We knew Kobe Turner was really good. And Jared Verse and his overall play as far as a disruptor run game or pass game is damn impressive too.
Well, let's look at those numbers. DraftKings has the Defensive Rookie of the Year odds right now, and the Rams do have 2 of the top 4 candidates right now versus the odds-on favorite at -200. You got Leatu Latu, who we liked coming out, +600, and then Quinyon Mitchell. You also loved him coming out, +750, and then Braden Fisk. So you liked those middle 2 guys. You were not as high on Fisk. You were not as high on Verse.
No, I was not. But they're good players.
They look better in the NFL than they did in college.
They do.
To you right now.
They do. And they're doing a good job. Like on running downs, they don't keep Braden Fisk in there very much, right? So they're letting him learn his way there, and that's where they put 95 Bobby Brown in there to go, okay, let's do that. Or they go, hey, we'll put Kobe Turney, Bobby Brown in, Braden Fisk, and then we'll put Byron Young and Jared Verse on the edge and play a bear front, and now we got 5 formidable forces there, right? So, yeah, they've been really good. Quinyon Mitchell's going to have something to say there, too, because their defense is good in Philadelphia, and he's a lockdown man-to-man corner, so we'll see where that goes. But I'm blown away.
The group has made life better for all those individuals right there for the Rams defense.
Yeah.
And before you continue your thought here on the Rams,
right.
I do want to tell you that DraftKings Sportsbook is the number one place to bet touchdowns. New customers can bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the app and use promo code UNBUTTONED when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
So we would not have guessed this with the Rams defense, with those guys necessarily being in the topic of conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. So what else with this Rams defense that's impressive?
I mean, they are like your Detroit Lion team. When they do blitz, it's pretty damn creative. Right. All in all, though, I don't feel like they want to blitz. Right. They blitz a little bit more than Raheem Morris and what he did there as a Rams. But like they really like to do kind of like what I just talked about with the Los Angeles Chargers. They really just want to blitz one, drop one. Right? So, hey, Kobe Turner and Braden Fisk and Byron Young are all over here on the right side. They're all coming, everybody. They're all coming, right? And then they'll blitz somebody off the weak side and go, Byron Young, you drop off over there, right? So, again, it's a 4-man rush, but it gives a little bit of an illusion of a blitz. And if your offensive line's not on its P's and Q's and your quarterback's not on its P's and Q's, it can make you feel flustered and not sure where it's coming from. They did a great job of flustering Geno Smith in this game. Geno did not play great. But with them all around him and some of the things he did there and the speed in which they got up on him, I do think were a big reason of why he threw the second and third interceptions, late in the football game that basically cost Seattle.
All right, so how do you think they match up Monday Night Football taking on the Miami Dolphins with 2-0?
That's going to be fun to watch. It is. It's McVay and McDaniel who got a personal close relationship and are friends that way. They have a speedy front seven. I guess what I worry about their secondary in this one. This is where I would say. But because they don't play a lot of man-to-man, I think they'll keep them in front of them, try to rally. I think this is going to be a fun game. I think this will be actually a really competitive football game. I got to think about that one a little bit more. It's the thing I think is going to be interesting with their young defense is when Miami moves and motions and does all that stuff, are they going to be able to all be on the same page and figure out exactly how they want to play it? I think that's going to be something to watch for in that football game.
They've hit a home run. As much as they don't like draft picks there with the Rams, F them.
They're like
pretty good at
They're
them.
good.
They're
very
good at
them.
getting them, and they found some finds later on in the draft there. All right, that closes the book on the pick six. It has been returned for a touchdown. Our offense
as
is
usual
going back on the field.
Yes.
We end with this as we do every week on Wednesday, the Buzz Watch. So this is the teams or players who have the biggest opportunity to get us talking about them when we do the pod Sunday to recap everything.
Bzz.
So here we go. So we'll start with number 3.
Yep.
The Eagles destroy the Cowboys. In Dallas, it is over for everyone in Dallas. And to talk about how, maybe bad the year is for Dallas, normally in most years that would be like number 1 in the Buzz Watch, but I'm having that as number 3, that we finally put the nail in the coffin on the Cowboys.
Yeah, yep, I hear you. The nail is somewhat in the coffin. Now just someone can hammer it home.
Right.
And I think the Eagles will do that, let alone the Eagles continue to improve. Again, I'm not overly impressed with their scheme on the offensive side of the ball, but they know who they are and they know how they want to play, and there's a lot to be said about that. And as long as there's that, and then Jalen Hurts takes care of the football, they're tough to beat.
And the fact that this could be another blowout in Dallas for the Cowboys,
exactly right. All of
not
it.
good.
It's just going to lead to everybody and all of us just crapping on them more and more.
Number 2 for me. Oh, here come your Bengals. Your Bengals.
They
beat the Ravens in Baltimore. The Bengals officially back on the track again. Joe Burrow for MVP talk intensifies.
That would be big. In fact, I don't even know what you got as number 1, but I would look at that and go, I think that should be number 1. Again, for a 6-3 football team, I do feel like the world has anointed them kings and Super Bowl winners a little early. It just does feel like that with the Ravens. It's all every show I turn on, it's Ravens. They're damn good. I get it, right? I got to see another game of that defense. I'm not just convinced that they beat Denver Broncos and Bo Nix with like 0 weapons on their team and all of that I'm going to just go, oh, yeah, they're fixed. They're ready to go.
All right, so you could have an argument
that could be number
one, but you know what? I think there's just too much intrigue. It's still too much intrigue with this team and this player. The Jets beat the Cardinals in Arizona, and oh boy, exactly. Here we go. Everyone loved to write off the Jets. Now they're going to love to get on that Rodgers bandwagon, a la the relax of 2014.
I mean, this is one that could go either way. Where you go, even if the Cardinals win, we're just like, oh my gosh, it's over for the Jets. They're done.
Which we've already said to this, but I feel like now it's almost
like by a thread.
Okay, that win on Thursday. And now you go to Arizona. And now you're kind of get a little momentum. People will love to talk about that.
I haven't said it's over for them yet. I mean, I didn't love the way Thursday night looked, but I still just go, wait, 3-6. They still got him at quarterback. Their team still has talent. And I think really what we're going to get into is the last spot in the AFC is going to be like a 9-8 football team, right? So that's where they win this one. You start to go, okay, maybe they got some positive vibes going. They got a little win streak going. Let's see if they can keep it going and capitalize. We'll see. All right, Ahmed Fareed Buzzwatch. We'll be taking notes there. We should
wait. Oh, there's one. Pete is saying one more thing in our ear, which usually indicates some breaking news of some sort.
Go ahead. Hand it out to him. You can hand it to him, Morgan.
This is Morgan here.
One more. Look at that.
This is a Lions.
So beautiful.
Oh, a rugby shirt. Oh, thank you, guys. The Rugby Revolution. That's right. Pete had to remind me of my own revolution. Oh, this is amazing. Look at this. 1930. Is this a hoodie, too?
That's pretty cool.
Oh, no, that's a sleeve.
No, that's a sleeve. Okay,
so this is thank you,
guys.
Thank you, guys.
Right.
Thank you, guys, for this. Had the birthday. I share a birthday with
Happy birthday with Big
Phil.
I'm so disappointed we didn't make fun of you for your birthday on Sunday night more.
We had a lot to talk about.
You're 45?
45.
45.
All
right.
Solidly mid-40s.
Yeah, you're solidly
Cannot deny that anymore.
You're getting closer to 50 officially now.
We're way too old at this point.
All right, there we go. More Lions propaganda on this podcast.
I will wear this.
We start with the Lions. We end with the Lions. The middle part's the Lions. It's the Lions
It is
podcast.
the Lions. I know. It is becoming maybe a little annoying, but come on. We've never had this before.
No, it's okay. You have every right to be the annoying Lions guy.
I will wear this Sunday. I will wear this Sunday.
All right, you wear it Sunday. Please do. And please keep drinking your kombucha.
Yeah, I will.
And no stupid energy drinks.
New life.
All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the Pick Six podcast. Hope we broke it down. Man, there was a few parts there where I go, I wish I could have maybe explained it better. I wish I could have a go back. I could get a replay on a third down right there. We're going to replay the down because I didn't feel like I explained some of the things as well as I wanted to. But either way, I hope you enjoyed it. Ahmed Fareed, as always, you were the man.
Well done.
Thank you for driving the ship, as always. You know where to find me tomorrow. Thursday Picks Pod with Florio. Come check us out. Get at me on social media. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to look up, check out, whatever. Everybody enjoy Thursday Night Football. Enjoy the weekends of games. We'll see you Sunday night, Week 10 recap. You know it. You know where to find us. Peace out, homies. Clap it up.
Clap it up.
Yo, homies, thanks for watching. Yeah, it's time. The NFL season is here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
You can hit subscribe to get all the weekly picks, plus our Sunday recaps as the games are happening.
Oh, you know it. Nobody does that better than us. Thanks again for watching. Remember to subscribe. Peace out. We'll see you next time on Unbuttoned.